A grin at the Kremlin and a chill in Brussels. Donald Trump's new national security plan has sent the NATO scrambling. As America, in a way, steps back from NATO, Europe is fearing that Putin is ready to step in. Our next report taking a closer look at why there are fears of American withdrawal and questions over NATO and the European Union's future.
A storm of geopolitics knocks at the gates of Europe. On the chessboard of superpowers, new lines are being drawn. And somewhere, Vladimir Putin is smiling as Donald Trump rewrites the rules. President Trump's America First doctrine has culminated in a national security strategy that seemingly targets Europe, throwing the 70-year transatlantic partnership into chaos. The new US doctrine takes aim at Europe, calling it over-regulated, lacking in self-confidence, and facing civilizational erasure due to immigration. The reaction from Europe has been furious.
What we cannot accept is this threat of interference in European politics. The United States cannot replace European citizens in choosing which parties are good and which are bad.
The Federal Republic of Germany has so far been able to discuss all of these issues internally in a satisfactory manner, and we also see ourselves in the future capable of addressing and discussing this entirely on our own, and we do not need any outside advice on this.
The strategy clearly states that the US will adopt a more limited and conditional role in European defense, shifting the burden onto allies who must now frantically find billions of US dollars to cover the sudden security vacuum. The Pentagon has already begun drawing down troop numbers on NATO's eastern flank, a clear physical manifestation of the new disengagement. While Brussels is fretting, the Kremlin is smiling. It has fulsomely praised the US national security strategy, saying it corresponds to their vision. The new doctrine also asserts that the US should stop calling Russia a direct threat. European capitals erupt in alarm. For decades, NATO served as the linchpin of defense and deterrence. Now, with Washington's support receding, NATO members face a moment of reckoning. A weakened US presence could leave Europe exposed. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Moving on for now, Syria marking 1 year of Bashar al-Assad's fall and the rise of the Ahmad al-Shara regime. Infighting, the Druze standoff, elections, Syria's tug of war with stability and turbulence continues. The sentiment on the streets is that of hope. People celebrating the anniversary of Assad's fall and the beginning of this new era. Thousands of Syrians gathered in the capital. The streets were seen with people holding the Syrian flag of independence. Syria's president, meanwhile, paid a visit to that mosque. Thousands of people gathered to catch a glimpse of their leader. Shara urged Syrians to work together for rebuilding their country. moment marked significant symbolism. Al-Shara donned the same outfit that he wore a year ago when he first appeared before the Syrians as a leader of the rebel offensive that toppled the Assad regime. Years of the civil war forced millions of Syrians out of the country. More than 5 million people left the country between 2011 and 2025. Out of these, more than 7 lakh refugees have returned since the fall of the Assad regime. And people say it is the first time, but they are witnessing a parade, an army that loves them.
Today is the most beautiful and special day for Syrians. I am very happy and I feel that I belong to my homeland.
We cannot describe or measure the happiness that myself and everyone else here feels. We have no words to describe it because this is the first time we have seen a military parade by an army whom we love and loves us.
Let's just take you back in time. This is how the Assad regime fell in just about 11 days. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, remember, led forces began their offensive on the 27th of November 2024. The starting point was Idlib in northwestern Syria. In 3 days, rebels captured the city of Aleppo. On the 5th of December, the HTS forces captured the city of Hama, major city that stood between the rebels and the capital Damascus was Homs, which fell on the 6th of December. Carrying forward the swift offensive, the rebels reached the city of Dara on the 7th of December. Assad was now left with Damascus, and on the 8th of December, he abandoned the post and left the city, marking the fall of the 53 years of the Assad regime. Let's now tell you about the latest leg of diplomacy over U.S. efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war. The Ukrainian president is meeting the heads of NATO and the European Union for peace talks in London. And the meeting comes after U.S. President Donald Trump accused him of not reading the U.S. proposal to end the war. Our next report telling you more about the reactions as Ukraine, Europe fear the U.S. could force Kiev to accept terms that favor Russia.
The battlefield is ablaze. Russia is aggressively pushing into Ukraine. It is employing a strategy of attrition and advancing in the east. Block by block, town by town, Russia is burning down Kyiv's access to the front lines. Russian forces are launching large-scale air attacks targeting Ukraine's energy facilities and critical infrastructure across multiple regions, causing blackouts and forcing nuclear plants to cut power. These images of 9-story apartment complex on fire in Sumy region say it all. Ukraine calls a result of Russian drone strike. But Moscow denies targeting civilians or civilian infrastructure.
What is happening to the city? It is being dismantled little by little. There are fewer intact houses, fewer people remain. There is more destruction. There are more and more strikes every day, both FPV and artillery and everything else.
Ukraine is going after Russia's oil tankers in the international waters. Ukrainian sea drones are striking against Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers in the Black Sea. It is preparing for more complex strikes against Russia's Black Sea Navy in the year ahead. As the fighting rages on, U.S. President Donald Trump is pushing hard for peace. He has expressed his disappointment over Zelensky for not reading his plan to end the war.
And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it. But I'm not sure that Zelensky is fine with it. His people love it. But he hasn't read it.
Trump's criticism adds a mounting U.S. pressure on Kyiv as Zelensky meets top European and NATO leaders to rally its backers in London. The meeting comes as leaders on the continent scramble for a seat at the negotiating table, and concerns grow over if U.S. could force Kyiv to accept terms that favor Russia.
We are starting a new diplomatic week right now. There will be consultations with European leaders. First and foremost, security issues, support for our resilience, and support packages for our defense, air defense and long-term funding for Ukraine.
The discussion come after days of talks between Ukrainian and U.S. officials in Florida ended with no apparent breakthrough, with Zelensky committing to further negotiations. Kyiv maintains that negotiators are still split over the core issues of territorial concessions and security guarantees. Russia hasn't publicly supported the plan. It has stuck to its hardline demands. Despite Trump's suggestion that Moscow is fine with peace deal proposal, the Kremlin has insisted the American side to make radical changes to the draft, with intense pushback from Kyiv and Europe. Is Trump peace plan far from final proposal? Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.